Well, hi everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Catherine Frank, and I am one of the teacher success managers here at Book Creator. I'm located in Chicago, but I work with all the school districts in the central region as well as the West Coast region. So many school districts in Washington as well. So I'm excited to be here with you all. Um, a little bit about me. I have been with Book Creator for over 4.5 years, almost 5 years now. And before Book Creator, I was in the classroom for about 9 years. While in education, I still work with teachers. I feel like I'm still an educator every day. I'm working with teachers and really showing them how to embed Book Creator into whatever they're already doing in the classroom. Today's session is to really highlight our accessibility features and some of our language features that we have that can really support your students in the classroom. If you also support teachers, you can bring this back. I have some resources for you if you're doing like a PD with teachers or things like that. I have some resources at the end to share with you that you can bring this back to your school sites too. But we're really going to highlight those features today. What we're going to be digging into today, I'm going to first kick it off with just explaining a little bit about Book Creator. I know a few of us are brand new on here to Book Creator, so just a quick little intro. And then we're going to get you into Book Creator. We'll sign into the site. So you're actually going to be able to play around with the features as I'm showing you the features. Then I'm going to share with you some resources that you can take home with you. And then we're going to play around. I'm going to have you pretend that you're like students with me in my classroom, and we'll play a little bit. And at the end, there'll be some time for some Q&A. We are a small group today, so feel free to cut me off, throw a question in the chat. I will be keeping an eye on that. If you have questions throughout the time, please do not sit there lost. I want to highlight, this is not a getting started session with Book Creator. So if you are brand new to Book Creator, I will highlight where you can do a certification course to get you started, but you will learn about all of the different types of accessibility features that we do have here, which is going to probably make you want to get started with Book Creator as well. We do have a freebie at the end. Some of our features I'm going to show you today are going to be on the premium version with Book Creator. So all of you today joining are going to receive 6 months free premium access to Book Creator, so that you can try out those premium features that I show you today as well. So just a few of them are premium. Most of them are going to be free, but I will highlight the ones that are free and the ones that are premium. Okay. So without further ado, let's get started. So what is Book Creator if you are brand new? If you are brand new to Book Creator, let me throw this book in the chat so you have this as I'm clicking around with it. There's a link to this book. I will be using this as we go through everything today, but then you have a copy of it as well. You can also just sit back and watch right now too. But if you want to click through it, you can as well. On page 4 of the book, though, this is just why you should use Book Creator in your classroom. So if you're working with teachers, you can share this book with them. Just a little bit about Book Creator. It is a content creation tool where students and teachers can create content in the form of ebooks. And then these ebooks can be published online and shared with others. The beauty of Book Creator is that we have 230 accessibility features built in. I'm not showing you all of those today. We can't get to everything, but it's a tool made for everyone. So the beauty of it is when you put it in the hands of your students, you know that every single student is going to be able to create something with Book Creator. And that's my favorite part about Book Creator, and showing it to everyone, is the knowing that every single student, no matter what, is going to be able to create, especially with all those accessibility features. So you'll see that today. So just a little bit about what Book Creator is. And where you're going to, these are just a few things to highlight. I threw in a picture there about some students in a school we visited This is the first grade classroom, and you can see that just their student engagement is through the roof. And then I also threw in a little quote highlighting accessibility to kind of what I was just saying about Book Creator as well. On page 6, this is one of my favorite quotes. If you took a bucket of Legos and put it in front of a group of kids, how many would be able to build? Every student could build something. And that's what Book Creator is. All the students are going to be able to create something. On page 7, this is an area where you can find a lot of different example books. It's going to take you to our Discover page. I'm going to show you where the Discover page is too, where you're going to find a lot of examples. I do encourage you, especially if you're brand new, to take a look at what does this look like with whatever grade levels you teach or whatever teachers that you're working with. It is a K-12 tool, and it's also available for across content areas. So that you can find a lot of different examples. You can just go to read.bookcreator.com and find those examples there. But where we're going to begin today is we're going to get you all into your accounts. So you are all going to log in at app.bookcreator.com. You can just click on the link on page 8. Or what I will do is in the chat, I will also place the link in the chat. So you can just click on the link in the chat as well. You might have a portal in your district. If you're already using Book Creator, feel free to access it through the portal as well. But if you're brand new and you need the website, it's just app.bookcreator.com, and that's in the chat. If you've never used it before, you're going to create your first account here. So you will sign in to your, here, let me X this out. Sorry, I'm on a small screen right now. You're going to need to sign out. And I'll show you. You're going to want to sign in as a teacher, of course. So the student sign in, you'll see it says switch to teacher. Make sure you click switch to teacher. And you should be signing in on a page that is blue with a owl on it. My suggestion is to sign in with whatever email address is related to your school district. And you'll sign in with that. So I'm related to the Google sign in. If whatever single sign in you use, just sign in with that. If you've used Book Creator before, you know it's going to take you to wherever you've been creating before. If you haven't used Book Creator before, it's going to take you to a screen where you're going to start answering some questions. So go ahead and answer those questions. It's going to ask for you to create your first library for today. We have libraries to create in Book Creator, and we also have books to create with Book Creator. I'll talk a little bit about that in a second, but you can just go ahead and create your first library and name it whatever you'd like. When you get into a library, at the top left-hand side, there are 3 lines. You're going to click on those 3 lines, and it's going to take you out to your teacher dashboard, and that's where we will all meet today. I'm just going to speak a little bit about with the free version with Book Creator, you have access to create 1 classroom library and up to 40 books with your students. And you have access to the majority of all of our accessibility features that I'm going to show you today. With the premium version, which you're going to receive 6 months free access to at the end of our session today, you will have access to create unlimited classroom libraries, up to 1,000 books with your students, and then most of our premium features that we have that you'll have access to. Okay. There's a few tabs at the top. I'm just going to quickly go over for those that are brand new. To the right of the libraries tab, we have a Discover tab. If you click on the Discover tab, this is where you're going to find all of those example books I was talking about, where you can discover different grade levels and what this is going to look like across content areas and so forth. The first ones that pop up are going to be student templates. We're going to talk about templates later, so we're just going to kind of skim through those right now. But I do want you to look at by examples by grade. You can toggle through examples by grade, and then if you scroll down further, you can find these books are filled with different ideas lesson plans, how to support language learners, how to use this in the science classroom, how to use this in elementary classroom, something for everyone there. And then you can toggle through examples by content area down there. Okay. To the right of the Discover tab, we have a Learn tab. If you have any questions on anything, so you need a support article, this is where you're going to find your answers to those. This is great to email out if you're supporting teachers with Book Creator after this. You can just find a support article, email that out about a feature, and then they will have step-by-step instructions. And the last tab I want to show you is our certification tab. That's to the right of the Learn tab. This is our certification course. If you are brand new to Book Creator, I do recommend taking this certification course. This is going to be a completely self-paced course, so it saves as you go. You do not have to do it in one sitting. There's going to be some videos you're going to complete. And what I like about it is it really shows you how to use it with whatever you're doing in the classroom already. It's not going to just show you the feature. It's going to talk about, okay, how can I use this in the classroom? At the end, you'll take a quiz, which you should pass. And then you'll receive a digital badge as well as a certificate of completion. So just know that this Learn tab and the certification course, along with examples, are going to be where you're going to want to go if you are brand new. Okay. All right. Now we're going to hop back on over to the Libraries tab right there. And what you're going to do is you're going to click into a library that you have created. So you're not going to click into the My Books library. You're going to click into the library that you have created. If you've already used Book Creator, you kind of know the drill. You can just click into any of the libraries. What we're going to do is you're going to create a new book so that you can play around with some of the features as I'm showing you today. Okay. So just click into a library that you have created. And then I'm going to click into the library that I've created for today. And what you're going to do is if you, two ways that you can learn from this webinar. If you want to sit back, relax, and learn, I do go pretty fast. You can, or if you want to play around, you can do that as well. Okay, while I'm going through things. What you're going to do at the top right-hand side of the library, you'll notice that there is an option that says New Book. When your students join in your classroom library, and you'll learn that on the certification course, or I can talk about it at the end of the session today as well, if you want to learn a little bit more about that, they will have access to click on New Book as well. When you click on New Book, this is when you can start creating, okay? What I'd like you to do, if you're following along, I would like you to click into one of the landscape books, okay? I ask you to do that because some of the accessibility features that I'm going to go over, you need to actually be in a landscape book to use them. So click in landscape. And once you're in the book, this is when you're going to be able to start using all the different features. The beauty of Book Creator is it's simple. You can just dive in, which is also going to be really helpful for all students. At the top right-hand side, there are literally 4 buttons that you're going to need to know to start with Book Creator. The first one is the plus button, which means just that. You are adding things to the page. We're going to go over some of these things in just a little bit. The second one is the inspector button, which means you're going to change something about your page. The third one is the play button, which means you're going to read your book. And the fourth one is a button where you can add comments and feedback, which we're going to get to in just a little bit. Okay, so that's a quick little overview of how you would start creating with Book Creator. You stay there inside that library. I'm going to go into my presentation book. And we're going to dive in and start learning about some of the accessibility features we have and our language features, okay? So I'm going to just start demoing. And you can play along as I go through them. Now, I pulled out, I would say, some of the best features for accessibility, just to review, but I would say some of these are just some of my favorites, okay, that we're going to go over today. We're going to go over audio and video recording with transcripts and how to translate all of those things. So you can translate text, books, audio, video captioning, all in over 130 languages. So I'm going to show you all of that. Another one of my favorites is speech to text. Wherever you see a microphone in Book Creator is speech to text. Alternative text for images is another one that's one of my faves. Keyboard navigation, and commenting and feedback, which you also can translate. Okay, so I'm going to show you all of those different things today. And I always say, but wait, there's more, because we have even more things built into Book Creator, but those are the things that we're going to be focusing on today. All right, so first one, so get excited. We're going to do an audio recording. With the audio recording, I'm going to show you how to get a transcript. I'm going to also show you how to translate an audio recording too for students. When you record when you record your voice, this is really popular for teachers to create like a template for students. In Book Creator, you can create a book from scratch, or you can create a template for your students and assign the book out to your students to complete. Okay, so different ways that you can use Book Creator. But when you assign a template out to students, you can actually record something for them. So that's a really popular way that teachers use for accessibility. So I'm going to click on the plus button. I'm going to scroll down and record my voice. Today we are learning about the audio record button. What's great about it is the students can replay it. So think about fluency, showcasing their understanding about a subject and getting the option to record their voice instead of just writing it. What they can do is click use recording. And then here's my recording. It gets better. So I have my recording, a few things I can do. You might be playing around with yours and yours might be black. Mine's orange. You can change the color, okay? So if you want to change the color, you just click the inspector button, change the color, and then I can bring it back to black, pink, whatever I want to do. I'll just bring it back to black, and then I can change the color. Remember, you go back and forth to the inspector to change something. Now, I can add a transcript so the students could read and they could listen at the same exact time. To get a transcript, I click on the audio button, I click on the inspector, and it says transcript. I can just add transcript right here. So click add transcript. Whatever language I'm speaking in, I'm going to select that language. So if I was speaking in a different language, I would select that language, but I was speaking in English. And then I'm going to just click generate automatically, or you could enter in a transcript manually if you wanted to. So if you wanted to say something else, you could. But I'm just going to click generate automatically. It's going to generate my transcript, and I'm going to, in case there's background noise in your classroom, I'm just going to make sure that it says exactly what I want it to. And I don't want it to say here, so I'm just going to edit that. And today we are learning about the audio record button. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and I can replay it if I want to hear myself. And there we go. The students can click on this little transcript portion and they can listen and they can also read at the same exact time. It gets better. I can also, with the premium version, this was all in the free version. On the premium version, I can translate. And remember, you're going to get premium access at the end. I can translate this into another language. So if I click on this button, click on the inspector, and I scroll down, it says translate. If I click on translate, I can now, it's all powered by Google Translate. I can search for a language or select my language. I'm going to go ahead and just do Spanish for today, okay? And then we have AI voices. This is where you're going to see where AI is built into Book Creator already. We have different AI voices. We have female voices and we have male voices. I can just click on one of the female voices.
Esta es una muestra de grabación con esta voz.
I'm just going to select that for today. I'm going to hit translate. And now I have a translation in Spanish. What I like to do is I like to color code them. So I'm just going to color code this, and I'm going to do like orange. So my students know the orange ones are going to be translated in Spanish. And then if they click the translation, they also have the transcript translated in Spanish as well. So some pretty cool stuff there. So that's the audio recording, translations, transcripts, and so forth. The next one we have is video recording. So the video recording, I'm going to record a video and then I'm going to show you how to add comments. And then you can translate those comments too, okay? Another great option for students, instead of writing something out, have them record video. So what you're going to do is scroll down to where it says camera. I'm going to click on the plus button and scroll down to camera. I can either take a picture or I can record video. I'm going to go ahead and record video. Today we are learning about the video record feature where we can also add captioning and translate captions as well. I'm definitely going to need to edit that transcript. I could redo the video if I needed to. I might want to do that if I was teaching, but today, just for the matter of time, I'm going to click use video. I can resize my video. Move that over. And then to add the captioning, I click on the inspector. Here are the captions. I'm going to click add captions. Same thing. I'm speaking in English. I'm going to generate automatically. Excuse me. When they're generating, it's going to let me know when they're done. So we can go back to that one in just a second. Let's see if it pops up. Takes a second to generate. It's also generate, it's going to allow us to translate it as well. So we'll go back to that one in a second. All right. The next one is speech to text. Oh, the captions are ready. So let's go back. Sorry. Excuse my dog. Okay, so here's the video. I'm going to click on the video, click on the inspector, scroll down, and then now it says, or let me play the captions for you first, and then we'll say add translations. Let me play this for you first. Today we are learning about the video record feature where we can also add captioning and translate captions as well. Cool. Then I can edit those captions if I want to by clicking on these three dots and click edit. I would want to edit those captions for the students. And I could go ahead and edit those captions however I want right there. Okay. You guys can get the gist there. But I can also click add translation. So if I wanted to add the translation, I go ahead and add translation. I select my language or search for my language and hit Spanish. It's going to generate or it already has the transcript. So just make sure that you edit whatever the captioning says before it translates it. And then now if you want the Spanish captions to populate on the video, you just need to click on these three dots and click set as default. So I'll click set as default. There'll be a little check mark next to Spanish. And now if I hit play, it will be Spanish. Today we are learning about the video record feature where we can also add captioning and translate captions as well. There we go. So you can also slow it down. So if you need the video to slow down, you have to click play and then there'll be a little an option next to it to slow it down. So I'll click play. Today we are learning about the video record feature where we can also add captioning and translate captions as well. So they're just like the three dots on the video. If you play it one more time and you can go like extra, like very slow too. Today we are learning about the video record feature. You probably don't need to go that slow, but you can see how you can slow down the video if you needed to as well. Please, if you have any questions, do throw them in the chat if you need me to review something or something like that. We have a small group today, so. All right. So that's video recording. Speech to text, one of my favorites. So wherever you see a microphone is going to be speech to text. I'm going to show you a few locations of where you can find the microphone. The first location is going to be where students search for images. So if I click on the plus button and click on images, you're going to notice that there is a microphone right there. So if I wanted to search for, let's say, a dog, I click on the microphone, dog. And it searches for the dog. And then here all the dogs populate. Great accessibility feature for every single student. It doesn't matter who they are, if they don't even know how to spell something. It doesn't matter how old they are even. It's going to be really helpful for everyone. So I'll click on one of these, add the dog, and so forth. Another location is going to be when they add text. So if I scroll down and hit text right here, and you can pick any text you want, you're going to notice that there is another microphone. Once this loads, there we go. At the top right-hand side, there's a little microphone right there. But there's also an arrow next to it. This allows you to actually select over 130 different languages. So if I click on the arrow, I can select a different language and then do speech to text in that different language. So if I wanted to do Spanish, or I actually have Spanish selected, but I'm going to do English, and then I click on here, it will start populating the text. I'm saying, I am writing a book about dogs. Just hit the, and it even does the punctuation for you as well, which is quite popular. Okay. And then you can just add that to the page. Another location is where we have icons for the students. So if I click on the plus button and click on media right here, you're going to notice that we have icons, which is new. We've always had Noun Project icons. They're just in a new area. This is a premium feature, but you'll have access to premium just a little bit. If you click on icons, you'll notice that there is a microphone right there as well. I really like icons for visuals for students for vocabulary. So pulling up that visual with a vocabulary word or doing a vocabulary notebook, using some of those icons are really helpful for the students. All right, let's keep chugging along. Translate text. So if I click on text again, what I can do is I'm going to say happy Wednesday. Okay. Multiple areas where you can translate text. I'm going to show you multiple areas where you can. The first area is going to be where when you're in a text box, when you see the option that says translate. This is a premium feature. It also is managed by teachers. Teachers can turn off translate text for students. So if you didn't want them to have the ability to translate, you can always turn that off. It's always managed in your library settings. So I can hit translate. Your students could hit this as well if it was on. And then I just hit the language, translate, and bam, it's translated. Okay. Now, if it's on a page, let's say you have like a template or something like that, and your students want to translate that text on the template. They don't know what it says, let's say, and they need to translate something. They can just click on it. They can click on the inspector and they can hit translate. I'm going to translate this to English and they can translate it. You can also just right click and hit translate as well. That's sometimes quicker. And then just translate it. And there we go. So that's one way that you can translate text. Okay. All right. The alternate text for images, we're going to pull an image real quick. So let me search for a dog again. Okay, let's do, there we go. I have a French bulldog that looks kind of like this one, so we'll add him. Hopefully this one loads. My computer's going a little slow today. Anyways, if you click on the image and click on the inspector, right here, there's the here we go. Let's ready to load this. Click on the inspector. If you go down, it says accessibility. Now I can add the alternative text for the image. So if I was to add this and say French bulldog, or let's say black and white French bulldog sitting on a red pillow, or say heart pillow. Okay. I'm going to add that to my picture. Now watch this. I'm going to go into play mode. We're going to read this page. And click read to me.
Book creator logo. Alt. Text for images. Black and white French bulldog sitting on a red heart pillow. Book creator.
So it read book creator logo since it has that alternative text for it. And then it also explained what the image was. So a great accessibility feature for students. It also, I always like just teaching students when they add images to books to make them accessible for everyone, to add those that text for those images so that you're teaching accessibility for everyone to have access to their books as well. Once again, that's just clicking on the image and clicking on that inspector. All right, keyboard navigation. I wouldn't be able to show you it unless I had like a camera showing you on the my keyboard. But I wanted to, if you click on this blog post right here, it's going to take you to a support article that gives you all of the different keys that the students can actually like click, and they can actually completely create within Book Creator just by using the keyboard. So if they're not able to access like a mouse, they can use their keyboard, and it's going to have all the functions of being able to create within Book Creator using the keyboard. So I wanted to include that in case some of your students need that. And there's all the different shortcuts and so forth. You can teach them that. And then we also have switch access. So if you're using switch controls, I also included that. I don't have switch controls with me, so I wouldn't be able to show you. But if you wanted to use a switch control to read books, the students would be able to use those switch controls to click the read to me button and things like that. And then this gives you all of that information here as well. So those are those two support articles. All right, comments and feedback. So what's amazing about our comments and feedback feature is that it's giving students options of ways that you can provide feedback to them, and options and ways that they can respond to feedback. And then you can also translate feedback too, or they can translate it as well. So our feedback option is that button on the right-hand side, right below the play button. If you click on here, I can add comments. The first option that I can add is going to be a video camera. So if I click on the video, start recording. Great work on your page. I can't wait to read the rest of your story. You'll notice there was a countdown from 2 minutes. The video is 2 minutes max. And I can click post. Another option my students have is, or the teachers have, is also just typing up text. So I could say, great work. I could also use an audio clip. Start recording. Great work on your page. I can't wait to read the rest of your story. And then we also can use emojis, which are really fun. So all these different ways that you can leave feedback for students. Now, what happens are the students, when they get these, you're leaving comments and feedback for the students, they get an alert. What happens is on this page, this little comment bubble is going to light up like a rainbow, and it will have a little red dot on there, and it will say the number of comments that they have on this page. So if there's 3, it'll have a little red dot with number 3 on it. And they also get a notification in their notification center, which is outside in the library. You can just watch this part. On the top right-hand side, there's a little bell. If you click on the bell, it will actually have all the notifications, and it will say like Miss Capiello wrote, blah, 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 blah. And then they click on it and it will take them back out to their book with the comments on that page. And then what happens is they can respond if commenting has been turned on in your library settings. So it's all managed by the teacher. You can always turn it off if you don't want them to respond back. I also want to show you that you can translate comments. So let's say a student didn't know what great work said on here. They could click these 3 dots right here and they could hit translate. When they hit translate, they can just hit the language they need to translate it to, and now they have the translation. You could do that as well. Let's say a student is speaking in Spanish, typing it up in Spanish, you could translate their comment as well. And what I like about it is it's shown in both languages side by side. So great options to provide students some feedback. All right, built-in templates, some of my favorites. So we have, if you are using Book Creator to have students reflect on their learning for a digital portfolio, anything to keep track of their well-being, anything like that, we have templates that are already built into Book Creator that you don't have to go reinvent the wheel. When you click the plus button and you click on media, you might have already noticed when I was playing around with icons that there's an option that has templates. If you click on these templates, we have all of these different options that are going to really help your students. We have graphic organizers for all of these different subject areas. We have portfolios, which are some of my favorites. We have well-being pages, we have reflection pages, we have my goal pages. I really like these, like my habit tracker, my learning tracker. I'm just going to click on my habit tracker for today and click add to book. And there's even a search bar. So if you're searching for something that you're working on in the classroom, you can search for those. You can completely customize these. And then the students, you can assign it out to your students, which I'll show you how to do in just a few minutes. So when the students were to get this, they could add in maybe complete homework or whatever the habit is. And then they're interactive. So they can drag their check mark when it's complete. And then you could leave them feedback and comments and so forth, which is it's a really great way, an interactive way to keep track of things. And then when it's student parent-teacher conferences, you can open these books up and really have this conversation with the students. So those are all customizable. If anything you click on it has a lock on it, like these have locks on them, you can click on the inspector and just click unlock, and then it unlocks it and you can edit that however you wish. Okay. So those are available to you. Translate books, another one of my favorites. I'm gonna exit out the library. Underneath the books, there are 3 buttons. The first button, it has a book options button. If I click on that option and I scroll up, there's an option that says translate book. If I click translate book, it's going to, I'm just going to choose my language. Let's say I'm doing Spanish again and hit translate. Watch this. It's literally going to translate this whole book in Spanish. Think about a newsletter you have. If you do your newsletter in Book Creator for students, and then you needed to translate it in 5 different languages for your parents, you can just translate it right then and there. The formatting sometimes goes a little off, but it's quicker than having to find someone. So like right here, you can kind of see the formatting. It's going to be quicker to reformat it than trying to find someone to translate it in 5 different languages. So I can just go in and reformat really quickly my book if I needed to, and so forth. That one's used a lot. But think about translating a template for a student. You could just go in, create a template or that you're using, and then translate it really quick. Right. We're almost done. All right. I just have a few resources I want to share with you. And then we're going to get in and play a little bit. So just a few resources to share with you. At the end of this book, I wanted to include the 230 accessibility features blog post for you. So this is just like a read when you're drinking your morning coffee or something like that tomorrow. Take a look at this blog post. It's going to go into even more accessibility features that I didn't even go over today. So take a look at that. The next one is going to be teach your first lesson toolkit templates. If you're rolling this out into a classroom and you're thinking, how do I get started? There are going to be templates here that are going to help you get started. And then if you are rolling out, this is a year at a glance. It tells you some ideas of how to use this during the year. And then if you are teaching this to other teachers, we have a whole customizable PD guide that you can use. You can take all the pages, customize it however you wish, and then you can use this to teach others how to use Book Creator as well. This is also a good kind of getting started guide on how to use it if you are brand new to Book Creator as well. All right, before we finish, I want to get you all in and playing around with Book Creator a little bit. So I'm going to X out of the library, and what I want you all to do is I'm going to copy invite link. In the chat, I want you to join my library. So you are just going to, I'm inviting you to join my classroom. You're just going to pretend you're students. You're going to click on the link in the chat, and it's going to take you to my library. So go ahead and click on that link. Let's delete some of these books. Okay, I see Janelle's in there. Got 2 of us. All right, once you're in, Let me know if you have any questions getting in. Once you're in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how that you can assign a template to your students. So you're pretending you're my students today. What I did was I created a template. And this is going to be very quick. I know we don't have that much longer left, but I want you to, especially if you're new, to play around with it a little bit and see how do you assign a book to students, and then how would they complete it once they get one. I'm going to assign this template to you, and when I assign it to you, you all are going to get a copy of this in the library. I'm going to turn off read each other's books for now, so that you will only be able to see your own template in the library, okay? When you get this template, you'll be able to click into your own template only. You'll only be able to read mine, but you'll be able to edit yours. And it says, what made you smile today? Record your smiley moment here. You can record it however you wish in Book Creator. And the last thing I want you to fill out is, how do you see yourself using Book Creator after seeing all those accessibility features? How do you see bringing this back to your school sites? Okay, so I'm going to assign this out. To assign this out, you have your students join your library. So you can have your students join your library through an invite code or through a link, just like you clicked on that link. And at the bottom of a book, there are 3 buttons. The middle button is a sharing options button. If I scroll up to the top, I can click assign book. When I click assign book, I'm going to have everyone in the library get a copy of this book, but I could also change it for differentiation, to change it for specific students to get specific copies of the book. But for today, I want everyone to get it, okay? So I'm going to click start assignment. And there we go. Everyone has their own copy. So go to the one that has you're going to the one that has your name on it. You can click inside it and you can start completing. These are great. Love these. This looks great. All right, I hope you had some time to reflect on how you're going to bring this back. What I want just to give you is your 6 months free premium access. So you can find that in the presentation book. Either in the library, you have access to the presentation book, or the link that I've already shared with you. It's going to be on page. And if you already have premium access with your district, then you don't need to fill this out. But if you do not have premium access, it's on page 26. Then you're going to want to get this so that you can have the premium access to use for the next 6 months. It does expire on the 31st, so just make sure that you complete this by the 31st. What you're going to do is you're going to go to bookcreator.com/promo-codes. That's right on this page, on page 26. And you're going to use the promo code SETC. You do need to toggle. There's like a little toggle on the site between, I believe, 12 months and 6 months. Make sure you do a toggle, because you're going to get a discount, or maybe it's 12 months and 24 months or something like that. Make sure you do the little toggle, and then it will give you the discount. Thank you so much for joining today. And my email, let me just throw it in the chat, is Catherine@bookcreator.com. It will also be shared in the email. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions at all, and I'm happy to help. But thanks for joining.